Hello, everybody, and welcome to Taking Control, the ADHD podcast on True Story FM. I'm Pete Wright, and I'm here with Nikki Kinzer.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Pete Wright.
Hello, Nikki Kinzer.
Hello.
3 down. This is we're T-minus 3 episodes to our summer break.
Yes.
You've already taken your vacation,
I
so
have.
summer is just going to be like,
Summer's just
being
going to
around
be
the house
me
doing
working
puzzles.
outside, like
Working outside. Okay.
taking the computer on the patio, and I'm just going to do my work there. Yeah.
Nikki, that's what I do too. Love it.
That's it.
Yep.
Me too.
That's the secret. Use your summer. But I'm very excited. You just already heard our guest. She doesn't understand the rule. I guess when you've been on the show 1,900 times, you take your liberties with our
I
introduction.
didn't know I was. Oh dear. This is embarrassing now. Guys, I gotta go.
Look, we'll get to you. Hold on. Hey, before we get into today's show, which is going to be fantastic, we're talking about self-trust. We're talking about how you look at yourself, and we're talking about your nervous system. I wonder if those things are related. Before we get into the meat of the show, I want to remind you about our Patreon community, patreon.com/theADHD podcast. This, if you are a regular listener, we encourage you to take this next step. Give it a shot. Members of our Patreon get early ad-free access to every episode. They get access to the extended edition, so you get all of our upfront, our regular ADHD entertainment clutch segment that the public doesn't get to hear, and you get our Q&A at the end of every episode. And I actually wonder if some of our regular members who already listen to the show via Patreon don't even know that they should just keep the thing playing after the closing credits, because that's when really good stuff happens. That's the trick. You get extended episodes as a member. You get access to our member-only channels in our Discord server and a seat in the live stream recording of the show if you can make it, our Wednesday morning appointment live streaming, where you can ask questions directly to the guests in the chat as we record. Honestly, the thing we hear most from people about their experience in the community is the community itself. It's a group of real people all living with ADHD who show up for each other in a way that is pretty hard to find elsewhere. If you've ever wanted to be more than just a listener, this is where it happens. Again, patreon.com/theADHD podcast to learn more and join us. And of course, if you're not ready for that, that's fine too. You can find us at takecontroladhd.com, connect with us on socials, join the Discord, or sign up for the weekly email. We would love to have you wherever you land. You can have the perfect planner, the right system, the best intentions, and still not follow through. Not because you don't care, but because after enough broken promises to yourself, your nervous system has quietly stopped believing in your plans. Self-trust isn't a mindset. Self-trust is a nervous system skill. And for a lot of us with ADHD, that particular skill has taken some damage. Dr. Tamara Rosier is back with us today. She's the founder of the ADHD Center of West Michigan and president of the ADHD Coaches Association, author of 2 fantastic books that truly level up our field. And she is here to talk about how self-trust breaks down, what it looks like when it's gone, and how you start to rebuild it. Tamara, you may speak now. Welcome back.
I did not know this rule, Pete. You got to remind me of rules every darn time. So
And even if you did, who cares? We want to hear
cares?
from you. So
You made a bit.
No, honestly, I love talking with you guys. It's always so refreshing. And I love what you guys do. So it's just always great to be here.
Our pleasure to have you back. And we're talking about self-trust today. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it. We've, living with ADHD, we may know a little bit about breaking promises to ourselves and how that might start to influence our own self-image. What does this mean when you approach a concept like self-trust and our broken nervous systems related to our own self-image? What does that mean to you?
Yeah. So first of all, before I just want to say we're living in a great time because there's research coming out about our nervous system, about things associated with our nervous system that a lot of ADHD people have, like POTS, EDS, things like that. And I, for the first time in my life, have names for things. Like I'm one of the people a lot of women with ADHD have this MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome, which means my mast cells get confused and freak out. Okay. And it's related to a nervous system. So we're finding out so much about this, but there's a darn good reason why we don't trust ourselves. Right. I remember when I was opening up the ADHD center, my husband kept saying, "No, what's your business plan?" I'm like, "Well, I can pay the rent. That's my business plan." Like,
I want to help people with ADHD.
I totally did the Field of Dreams bit with it.
Yeah.
Like, I built it, and now today we have a ton of people working at the center, and I say a ton because it feels like that, and that's not a brag. That's a concern when I say it, and I'm telling you this because I don't trust myself. What am I doing leading a business?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm an English major. I have dyscalculia, which is dyslexia with numbers. And so when I was starting the ADHD center, I kept saying, gosh, I feel like I need some kind of parental supervision while I'm doing this. And a friend said, how about you stop saying that? And I'm like, how about I don't? Because my
How about you stop saying your face?
Yeah, and your mom's face.
Yeah, right.
So and it's because the belief is so strong that I screw things up. Tamara is a person who screw things up. And that is a core belief I developed. And why wouldn't I develop that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like Lucille Ball on steroids. I know that's dated, but Lucille Ball is timeless. Like all the shenanigans, she got it too, right? And so why wouldn't I trust myself?
I can actually level up. Mine, starting my own business, was not just like I don't have any business running a business, but I never want to have someone else's livelihood rely on my ability to run a business or sell.
Exactly.
Right? Because not only do I not trust myself, I don't think you should trust me either.
Right. Now think about the leadership challenge for that.
Given all that, how do you define this sense of self-trust that we're talking about?
Yeah. So first of all, I have to remind myself every day, and we'll talk about this more later, but every day I have to remind myself that I'm a trustworthy person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have to deal with my core beliefs that I developed that are unhealthy.
Right.
And so every day I have to do that. So even though I don't want your listeners to get like, well, if Tamara can't figure this out and she's written books on this, then what hope, right?
Yeah, right.
So there is hope, but ADHD just slowly, and you guys know this, slices away our sense of self-concept, which slices away our self-trust.
It's interesting that you were saying that about the reminder of what you have to say to yourself every day. There was something that stuck with me a long time ago. It was from Oprah. Again, I'm dating myself back into the 90s.
Love it.
But she said something that was so like, I just have lived by it. And she was talking about her intention, that as long as her intention is good, she knows she's doing the right thing. That is what is guiding her, is her intention. And I kind of feel that way when you're saying, I can trust myself. I'm a trustworthy person. Your intention is good. Your intention is pure. Like I just see a connection there.
Something I do. Well, let's define it before we go on to what I do to self-trust. But I want everyone to know I still struggle with this. And there's times I crawl in the bed at the end of the day and go, hey, we're done for today. We're just done. Tomorrow's going to be better. But we showed up, we left it all on the field, and we're feeling battered and bruised. So just crawl in bed, reset. But self-trust actually looks like you have this quiet confidence. And the reason I say quiet confidence is because those of us with ADHD, either we have big confidence or no confidence.
It's so true.
Like,
very rarely do you meet the person in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's foolish confidence sometimes that I have. Like, potatoes, that's all going to be fine. It's all going to work out. And that's my ADHD magical thinking, right? So the quiet confidence comes in at the middle going, I know who I am. I know what I value, and I'm acting according to those things today. And I have confidence in that. I also have confidence I might mess it up, but that's okay because I know how to repair. Self-trust is actually like you believe in yourself, but not in the magical way. You just you anchor yourself to your values. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. I hate to say we have high self-esteem when you have high trust. People, when I first wrote my first book, people kept going, "Oh, you're an author." I'm like, please don't say that. Like, I wrote a book. That doesn't mean I'm an author. And they're like, well, in the technical sense, it does.
Yeah, right. Words do have meanings, English
Like,
teacher.
Right.
Technical sense. But my self-esteem around writing was so low, right? And so I'm not talking about high self-esteem, but this quiet confidence of, oh, I am a person who can write books. And that hadn't been incorporated into my self-trust little bubble that I created yet.
That's really interesting because when you add to this our inability generally to adapt to change, sudden or slow,
Right.
right?
Right.
And recognize that it is an act of will to integrate new experiences into our own self-concept that might come naturally for others.
Yeah.
That's I don't think I've ever thought about it in quite those terms. And I think we sort of went through the same space in knocking out our book was like, this is a change in identity.
Yes. Yes. And a scary one at that.
Yeah. For sure.
Because now I'm public and I'm going to
Yeah.
fail publicly. Oh, cool. That's
great. That's a great idea.
Awesome.
That Brene Brown crap of being vulnerable. No, let's take it all back and not
out
be
the
vulnerable.
window.
Let's stay small.
What is how does this is where I want to get into the somatic experience of what our belief systems are doing to our bodies when we are unable to imagine ourselves as living in as sounds all woo-woo, but in the fullness of our identity, right? What is going on in our bodies and brains?
So this is, we have to be careful setting this up, but our brains, those of us with ADHD, are set to react. That's our default set mode, right? And it keeps our nervous system in a protective mode. I mean, I'm going to shock you guys. I have TMJ issues, right? No, not shocking at all, because my little body thinks, oh, let's protect her in her jaw. Right. I get all kinds of earaches from it, headaches from it. And it's because my body is always on alert.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the nervous system stuff until my 40s. And so I wrote checks my body wasn't going to cash. And I was just thinking today, like, oh, my poor body is so tired because I've driven it hard because I've always been in the fight or flight, freeze or appease mode. So first step, we've got to figure out, what does our relaxed mode even look like and feel like? Most of my clients can't even conceptualize it. And so we have to first step into that. And what are we going to do with our body? There's two ways we can approach this. With my clients, I approach this one of two ways. And we need both, but there's like a portal to get in. Usually it's through the brain or through the body. And I can usually tell with my clients, are they body people or brain people? Okay. And if they're body people, we have to train the body first and then the brain will follow. Now, I know there's some people who will go, it's always the body first, or it's always the brain first. I don't think that's true. I think some of us just have a preference and a different way to do this. So are you brain or body? And you can tell if you're very cognitive, always trying to figure things out, always trying to overthink everything, guess what? You're probably cognitive based. If you feel things like, for me, I feel things in my gut all the time. My body feels things, right? And I've learned the somatic experience. So I'm a person, even though I want to try to figure it out, I have to go, no, stop treating your body like it's just tagging along with a brain. Like your body actually knows this one. So if it's body, then we have to intentionally put the whole body into the relaxed system. And that's the opposite of fight, flight, freeze, appease. And one of the ways I found that actually works really well um, is there's a thing called Heart Math Plus, and you breathe with this little mandala kind of thing or whatever you choose. Just for 5 minutes, you focus your breath. And the reason why it helps me, I've seen it every time my brain kind of wanders away, the dots disperse and I broke it, even though I'm breathing right. The research behind the heart math is just quite interesting, but it's a way to put myself into the parasympathetic response. And so that's one technique. There's so many techniques, but I found my ADHD clients and me, we need the feedback. Like, oh yeah, Tamara, you're sitting there breathing, but you're also writing something in your head. Stop that. Just breathe. Now, some people probably in the comments are saying, well, just meditate. Cool story, bro. My brain, like I can meditate better on a paddleboard. And it's not a true meditative state, but it's like I calm my body.
It's centering you.
It's very centering. Now, for those of you who are cognitive, we have to start with believing things cognitively. So we start with the belief of no matter what happens today, I can stay present. I can respond as I need. And if I screw it up, I'll repair it. Like,
Yeah.
I just accept I might screw it up. And that's a human thing. That's just not an ADHD thing.
I think you alluded to what I think is my always my fundamental reaction to finding a rest versus relaxation state, which is how do I get over the hump of not understanding that my body hasn't been capable of finding that state in decades. Like you ask me what the relaxed state is, I've never, let's say I've never felt it because my relaxed state is always heightened. And I have come to believe that that's normal.
Yes.
Right?
Can I put it a different way?
I triple dog dare you to do that.
Thank you. I love a triple dog dare.
Yeah.
There's something called the window of tolerance. And in the window of tolerance, in the middle, I write about this in my second book, there's this, your body's just relaxed. Okay. And I'm sure other people are there, but I have a very tiny window that I've had to learn to make wider. And this is when my body is just responding. I'm relaxed and alert. Those are the two key words. Above this window of tolerance is the hyperarousal. And that's usually where I camp out for the day. Okay. Given to my own, if I don't work on this. Below the window is hypoarousal. That's the freeze mechanism. And so all these years, Pete, I thought I was relaxing.
Yeah.
I was in hypoarousal, just sitting on my couch, frozen, melting slowly into the fabric, calling that
But
rest.
you look relaxed.
I look relaxed.
You're right.
And actually, I can feel myself, now I've worked on this, I can feel myself relax because the muscles, I can feel the muscles in my head. This is embarrassing to admit. I can feel the muscles in my head relax.
It's not embarrassing. Why is that embarrassing?
Because I sound like such a little stress puppy. But but the truth is, guys, like I learned to harness anxiety early on and create fires.
Yeah.
That's how I survived. That's how I got a PhD. And now Richard Rohr is a Franciscan priest who is lovely and talks about the second half of life. And he's like, the first 40 years, you have to create all this stuff about your personality. The second 40 years, you have to dismantle it all. And
Yes.
I'm
Right.
dismantling it all right now, going,
Yeah. Here
oh,
we are.
poor Tamara thought she had to survive like that. That's hard.
Well, I really, I mean, I'm not making a joke when I say you look relaxed, because that's how my ADHD, my own spectrum interacts. That because mine is so in my head, it's so deeply inattentive that I can sit still with the best of them, but I'm not still. I'm not relaxed. I'm wound up tight, and I can feel it in my skin, right? I can feel it on the texture of my skin. I feel the arousal, but I look totally chill. And so figuring out how to take that, I guess that's the hypoarousal, and turn the brain into something that's able to settle is the necessary muscle to build.
Yeah. Um, it starts it starts with one of the things I work with my clients on is, where are you? And you guys know, I made an emotional ladder, just for my clients to, where are you on this ladder? And there's body signals, there's brain signals, like, where, find yourself first. And I did that because I didn't even know where I was on this ladder, and then I didn't know how to interact with myself. And so the first step is really like, where am I? And where is the tightness?
So that's really paying attention to your body and your mind, and like looking inside of yourself to feel like where that tension is, or is that what you mean?
Yes. So those of us with ADHD are a bit awkward in some ways. Well, many ways, actually. Let's be honest. We know who we are. But um, if we focus too much, a lot of my clients are like, oh, I have this bump. I'm pretty sure it's cancer. Right. So that's not the kind of, that's an anxiety looking inward. And it's why I created that emotional ladder, just to kind of look at it and go, where am I? Oh, I'm feeling a tightness. Where am I feeling the tightness? Oh, no, the tightness doesn't mean I have a brain tumor. The tightness means my body is reacting, trying to protect me. Well, thank you, body. And
Mhm.
by the way, Pete, I've
Yeah.
gotten really woo woo in my old age. Like,
Okay.
I think
Good.
I
We're there.
thank my body for, like, hey, you're doing a great job
You
today.
did great today.
You did great.
Yeah. Right.
Allergens are high out there, and you still showed up.
Yeah.
Good job.
And you showed up. You walked to the mailbox. You just brought something up that I think is really is important. It's a thing that I've been thinking about, that we talk about accommodations all day long, right? We talk about things that allow us to get done, the things that we need to get done. But I have kind of, I have a collection of dark accommodations, right? They're accommodations for the feelings that are triggering to me. You just said, I have a lump, maybe it's cancer. Now, the dark accommodation, the accommodation would be exactly what you said: relax and find find where the real tension is. The dark accommodation goes toward addressing the actual bump, right? It goes toward, I'm going to perseverate on this. I'm going to hit WebMD first. I'm going to start the doing the dance that allows me to get in with a cancer specialist,
and talk to
because
Claude
clearly
about
that's
it.
the
We
next
got to talk
step.
to our
Right.
Oh,
AI
Yeah.
bot.
definitely
Yeah.
talk to
Right?
Claude. Yeah. See if I can, because the dark accommodation is what spins me up even more, but it's tricky because you think you're doing the right thing. Okay. I know this feeling so well, and that's what causes me to download new apps and use new tools and find the dopamine triggers that address the surface issue when not really looking inward, because inward is scary. And note to the title, I don't trust myself to be able to actually address it at that level. So I better just stay at the surface
Yep.
and go for the dopamine. So
And none of this is a conscious effort,
no, right.
right?
Right.
So-
It's only conscious when I sit down and am working on this outline for our conversation today, and I realize, oh, dude, that's you. Right?
Yeah. So I do, you guys probably already know a lot about this already, the vagal nerve and the research about the vagal nerve, resetting the vagal
Sure.
nerve. Um, I do a lot of vagal nerve resets throughout my day.
Hmm.
Okay, walk
Yeah.
through that for those who
Well,
haven't
so
listened to
here's the
past
thing though,
episodes on it.
it's like finding the right toothpaste. Everyone has a favorite. So I'm not going to say, hey, this is the right one.
Right.
But YouTube is full of vagal nerve resets. And they're usually you're gonna find the one that fits you best. The one that fits me best has to do with my eyes. And you can do a lot of different ones, but the one of them I use is I tip my head to the left and I kind of pull on it a little bit and put my eyes in the opposite direction as far as they can go. And I hold it there for 30 seconds. And sometimes I can't make it to 30 because I get super bored. But if I can make it to 20, great. And
It
then
actually
I do
feels good because you kind of are stretching a little bit.
Yeah.
uh-huh. But it's the eye movement that also helps.
Yeah.
And so then you do the other side. And that's it kind of it doesn't give me energy. It just helps me feel grounded. So I found the ones that and that one can be done, very, very quickly. So I encourage your listeners to find your favorite.
So I remember watching you at a conference, and you're such a great speaker. First of
Oh,
all,
that's so nice.
you do a really great job. And
I
I
feel
learned
stupid after each time. Let's talk about that as a trust issue. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that as like fake humbleness. I'm saying
Yeah.
I feel stupid after each time. And
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
saying that's a
I've seen
simple trust
you
I'm
in
building.
more than
So,
one scenario, and I've learned so much. It's been so great. And one of the takeaways that I got from this one particular one, and I think this is where this is similar to the head tilting, and I use it. You give your head a hug
with your
by
palm.
putting your palm on your forehead, and you just give your head a little hug. I love that so much.
See, if we can find this little group of behaviors, and by the way, will we remember? No. Do we have to write them down? Yes. Put them on a post-it note on your computer. But if we can train ourselves to do it, then Pete, you don't have to go to your dark tools. You could do a simple reset. And the more research I read a ton of research on ADHD, because I love turning research into like things that lay people will read, right?
So does Pete. You guys
I
really
know.
are from the
Oh,
same like little bird.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I see Pete,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my brother. Yeah.
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 Totally.
Yeah. But I love it. But every time the research on ADHD is so damning on how hard it is to be ADHD. And it is so hard to be us. And I'm not saying we deserve a pity party, but we have to really account for we have a different kind of nervous system. And we have to live like that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's I mean, every time I read research on how our brain works, every time I hear psychiatrists talk about their research, I wonder how I put pants on that day. It's
And yet somehow we do, right?
we're
This is,
heroes,
it's
Pete.
so
We're freaking
frustrating.
heroes.
We are hero. This is the thing that I think maybe it's because I'm aging into my I don't give an F
Yeah.
era.
Oh yeah, I'm there.
Like
We don't
right there.
care anymore.
And
Club, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I'm trying to
I
get.
feel like this. When I first was trying to adapt to my own diagnosis, there was a lot of that shame loop that I read the research, and as your words, it's damning, and then I get stuck in that loop. Like I already have enough of the inner voices telling me that I am a basket case. I don't need help externally.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I I look at this as at some point, if you're new to your diagnosis, have to stop reading the stuff that reminds us what we already know, that it's hard. And yet somehow you're here. Your pants are on, you're listening to a podcast, you are present, you are capable, you are able, and you get to choose what to care about. And that's part of, I think, what gets my nervous system stuck is when I forget that I get to choose what to care about.
Mhm. So I hear that. I hear that. And and by the way, I said, I joined the We Don't Carry Club. Well, that's not really true because I don't trust myself fully to join
Yeah,
it.
fair. Yeah,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
right.
and I still will do a presentation and go, well, I don't know. I don't know how that landed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we still have ADHD, but
Right.
it's a nice
But
badge to
yeah,
say,
so
I don't care.
yeah, so I have to keep I look at it as a balancing. I have to balance myself. Yes, this is true. This is all true. My brain works this way. And look how amazing I am because I can accommodate. Does it take me more energy? Yes. Do I need more naps? Okay, I really do, guys. I've always needed naps my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only teenager I knew who napped because my brain runs hot, right? And it
Yeah, and the rest of them are missing out.
right. So I need to understand the parameters and then kind of balance myself, but look at what I can do. And I stop focusing on what I can't do. For some reason, I have this really crazy belief that things will work out. And and it's a crazy belief I have, and it's solid.
Well, and it goes back to you believing that you can repair anything that goes wrong or goes the way that you didn't expect, right? Because everything goes differently than what we think it's going to go. And so having that little belief that I can repair it. But I also think like in what I remember from like listening to you talk about the nervous system and it's these little things that you can do right away, like the head tilting, the giving yourself a hug. I remember you talking about putting cold water on your face to stop that, freezing and anxiety loop. What else could you recommend that are just these little things that people can do right now as they're listening?
Yeah. So you have to know if you're in hyper arousal, you're
Right.
running hot, right? That's the flight. That's the kind of a hot state, or
Hmm.
you need to know if you're in the cold state of freeze.
So being
And
self-aware of how you're
you
feeling,
have
that
you
goes
have to
back to
know
like
where you
that
are. Yes.
ladder you were talking
Yep.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to know where you are. And then if you're in the hot, you have to bring yourself down. So, um, so bringing yourself down, Pete, I'm positive you can think of some too. It's calming. That's when I will do like a polyvagal. It's calming. I might do a couple stretches just to remind my body that a tiger's not chasing me, really.
Hmm.
Um, if you're in the low, you've got to build energy up because you're in a frozen state. So if you're below the window in this kind of glued to the couch state and you're just scrolling on your phone, then you've got to do something build energy. So a little thing that is you can hold an ice cube in your hand. You can put the ice cube on the back of your neck. Or something I do is I put on music. You just have that feel good music that you're like,
Hmm.
that feels good. I'm a Motown girl,
Hmm.
right? I live close enough to Detroit, love Motown. So I put on some good old Motown and it really does affect, and we know this, energy is kind of built through music. And so
Hmm.
that's a right way to get me back into. If I'm having like looping thoughts, um, this is an example of one of my looping thoughts. I had 6 chickens and I lost one
Oh,
last
past
week.
tense is
Yeah,
rough.
I lost
Yeah.
one last
Oh, my
week. First
goodness.
one I've lost in 6 years, but I lost one. I knew she had been struggling, blah, blah, blah. But my looping thought was, I failed her. I failed her. I failed her. It's not that chickens die.
Right.
And if you've
Yeah.
ever had chickens, chickens are weird because they're hardy and they're not hardy at the same time. Okay. And so my loop was, I failed her. I failed her. I failed her. What could I have done differently? How did I fail her? And you hear the cycle of, this is all Tamara's fault. And that's something I was raised with that I've had to look and challenge. And so I was in a frozen state with that looping thought. I failed her. I failed her. I failed her.
Yeah.
And I can't fix it, by the way. Nikki, you know how my belief is, well, I can't fix this one. I
Yeah.
failed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was really hard. And I had to, first step was, oh, I'm looping. I'm looping on this old loop that you were raised with. This is all your fault. How did you let this happen? And then I had to have a straight talk with myself. That is not fair that you're doing that. You've done everything you know. And even veterinarians lose animals, right? Like
Yeah.
you're not
Animals die, unfortunately.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so release that guilt. And I even get teary eyed talking about it. It was such a strong, and I wasn't sad about her death. I was stuck. I was sad, but
Right.
the loop was the shame loop. So
Mhm.
I was in below the window of tolerance, frozen, not wanting to do anything.
Mhm.
So I had to have the courage to face myself to go, okay, seriously, we're going to combat this with different thoughts. You're going to move the mood up and try to get the energy going. And so I did active things.
Mhm.
I like to paddleboard. I didn't paddleboard because that's when I'm in
Down.
the hyper,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Brings me lower. So I had to do more active things. Now, I'm not a runner. I don't run unless I'm being chased. And even then I might sit
Me
down
too.
and just go, just kill me.
Mhm.
Right.
We're done.
Yeah. I'm done.
Right.
What do you need?
Yeah.
Just, but I did some yard work. I did things to actually move my body, and that helped.
Is it possible? Because everything we're talking about, and I agree with all of them. I am right on board with the things that can help me on those days where I need an immediate impact, an immediate, intervention, a somatic intervention. Is it even possible for us to think longer term that we can build a practice to the point where we don't have to have as many intervention days? Or is this just one of those things that researchers say, you're this bleak?
I'm going to sound like a smart aleck. It's possible, but not probable. And here's what I mean. It's possible, but you have to become so good and work so hard. And with my clients, I say, how about we do this instead? How about we increase our awareness to do these small self-corrects all through the day? Self-correct. And so I don't sail, but one of my clients said, oh, like in sailing. And he's like, you're just making these small little corrections while you're sailing. You're not trying to turn the whole boat because you could capsize. You're just small corrections. So instead of like trying to build that magic practice that we've all been looking for,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you guys want to go to like India, become a monk. I mean, I think those people have it locked down.
Yeah.
Maybe some monasteries will teach different things. But for me, I want to get things done during the day. So I'm making these little corrects. And there are times on my calendar, I will look and go, you're going to need an autocorrect here. And I literally do a polyvagal exercise on my calendar.
Yeah.
My admin at the center looks at my calendar and she laughs at all the things I have to put in my calendar. Otherwise, I'll forget to autocorrect. I have to watch my thoughts. And Pete, I'm wondering if we're similar like this too.
Yeah.
My thoughts get dark, not not suicidal ideation, dark. Let's just be clear. But dark, like the world sucks, I suck. Like it's just everything's bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I truly believe that I need to correct that, because then I start looking around for things that suck. So it's
And
like the
that
yellow
becomes the
car.
practice.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like the yellow car experiment, right? When you start looking for yellow cars, they're everywhere. It's because your brain is looking for it, right? So this isn't magic. This isn't even woo-woo. This is just if I start to look for good things. So each time, every day now, I wake up while I'm still kind of dealing with some theta waves. I'm like, today's going to be great. Look for the great things, Tam. Look for the great. And I do. And I start looking. And so that's one little habit. Do I forget? Yeah, I forget. But it's that remolding how I want to think. But it's
And that starts to build that trust.
Thank you for bringing us back to that, Nikki. That was clever. Yeah, that's quite good.
But it does. I mean, in
It really does,
right?
yes.
Because it does. It captures that belief that everything's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to look for the good. Everything's going to be okay. And I think to Pete's point, like it's interesting. I remember I had a client long time ago who told me that she really wanted to have a goal where she didn't have to set a timer to remind her to go pick up her kids from school. And I said, "Oh, that's so nice.
That's so sweet.
But you're always going to have a timer to remind you to go pick up your kids from school." And kind of talking about like, but that's okay. Like that's the structure, that's the system you're putting in place, the scaffolding that you need to manage your ADHD around time, because you're not going to necessarily know that it's 2:15, and kind of being able to lean into that's okay to have that. Like
That's, I love that you said that, Nikki, because part of self-trust is that we accept our brain as it is.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have no idea. If you guys said, hey, 2 hours have passed, I'd be like, wow, that flew by. If you said 15 minutes has passed, I'd be like, oh, okay. This is, I could be gaslit into time.
Time is meaningless. It's a flat circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Dr. Who. So he gets that concept.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I asked this question about thinking long term, and you said possible, not probable, and then built an able case for how it's actually quite possible, and that it is all made in the tiny choices and habits that we make, both in learning to read ourselves, our somatic and emotional experience at any given moment, which is absolutely possible, and being able to make the tiniest self-correction.
Yes.
And do it repeatedly and often.
Yes. To be clear, it's not a magic system. And that's why I answered a little bit tongue in cheek going possible, but not probable, because my clients are looking for this magic thing. Okay.
Right.
Every morning I am going to do this. Well,
yeah. And this is going to help me fix whatever it is.
I will be fixed after this.
Yeah.
And so it's why I answered that way. It's because we just have to slowly understand that our brain needs these slow corrects throughout the day.
I love it. And I'm left with more hope than I was worried we were going to have on the show today.
Oh, good.
This is actually really great. And I think it goes back to the stuff that is in our control. I've said before on the show, my first best therapist when I was a teenager said, your power ends with your skin. It ends with what you can touch and relate to. And I have carried that for 45 years because of just how impactful that notion of agency is in my life, that the things that when I'm feeling at my lowest, I just remind myself what I can do, the tiny change that I can make next. And maybe it's put a cold washcloth on my eyes. Maybe it's an ice cube on the back of my neck, whatever it is, to remind myself that I'm the captain now, right? I'm not going to relinquish my agency. And this is normal, and it's okay.
It's normal for you.
Right. This is my Tuesday. It's fine. This is my Thursday. It's fine. Okay, Tamara, we got to wrap it up. But where do you want to send people? What can we shout from the rooftops about how great you are?
Oh dear. So first of all, I just want to say like a closing word to your listeners.
Please.
Pete said it so well. There's always hope. And sometimes when we're talking, like we get into the nitty gritty and we might be saying like, yeah, this is tough. This is not an easy life. But I want people to be able to hold the hope for themselves. And I think that's the key to self-trust, is when you can hold the hope for yourself, that you're not so broken that you're going to be forever feeling like this. So I just want to kind of leave with that spark for people. So what was the question?
It was...
Hey, I am coming out with a new version of Your Brain's Not Broken this fall. And it's for teens and young adults. And I actually had teen and young adult readers because, well, let's face it, I might be super old. And so I'm excited about that because I want teens and young adults to know their brain's not broken.
Love that.
Yeah.
That launches this. And otherwise, you can go to my author's website at tamararosier.com.
It's so brave of you to have. I'm terrified. I have teen and young adult readers working through my book right now, and I just want them to like me. And so badly, right?
I got in my head so bad. So bad. I mean, I use the word allowance in my manuscript, and the reader's like, well, actually, we don't use the word allowance anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's
what?
Generational language, and we've abandoned it.
What do they say? Or do they just get money now?
They just get money.
They just get money. Can you Venmo me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
they call it their Venmo.
Yeah, it's not that. And bless their hearts. They're like, well, actually, Gen Alpha would say it this way. I'm like, so
that's good. That's good. You're writing for today's teens and young adults.
We'll see. But the heart is there that I just, so, I was supposed to just make it a Your Brain's Not Broken version. I rewrote the whole book.
Of course you did.
That's outstanding.
I mean, you guys know that. Like, you knew where I was going.
Of course. Yeah.
So I added things, I took out things, and
Okay, so people can find out more information about that at tamararosier.com, and definitely check that out. If you haven't read the other two books, they're fantastic, and you should definitely have them on their shelf. I just wish my shelf was closer so I could flex by showing you I have them both. My shelf is in the other room, and so you'll have to take my word for it. It is really, really great to see you again, Tamara. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I love you both so much. I love what you do.
Such a treat. And thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening to this show. Thank you for your time and your attention. Don't forget, if you have something to contribute to the conversation, we're heading over to the Show Talk channel in our Discord server, and you can join us right there by becoming a supporting member at the deluxe level or better at patreon.com/the ADHD podcast. On behalf of Nikki Kinzer and Tamara Rosier, I'm Pete Wright, and we'll see you right back here next week on Taking Control, the ADHD podcast.